All right. I believe we are live. So, everyone, tell me, can you hear me? Can you see me? I believe you can see me, but the stupid crackling noise, we got to make sure that doesn't happen again. I'm going to post a link in the stream. You guys are going to see this show up a little bit before we actually go live. Oh, I need to join it. All right, I'll do like 7. Let's say I need to claim a team before everyone else comes in here, else I'm not going to be on here. But yes, please tell me, is the crackling noise here? I actually didn't check this time, but I have the cord attached to a empty fan box, so it should be fine. But all right, you can hear me just fine. Wonderful. So, of course, you guys know, or maybe you don't know, in Seattle right now, not allowed to legally play Underdog. So we're gonna have to do for the next 2 weeks sleeper mock drafts. So this format different from Underdog, of course, similar as like the mock draft Mondays. Normal redraft league. We're gonna do 14 teams in this one. Maybe we'll have fun and do like a 16 team one next week, something like that. But 14 teams in this one, full PPR. You guys can see the setup here. It's a standard setup: one quarterback, one running back, or I guess two running backs. Sorry, one quarterback, two running backs, one wide receiver, one tight end, a flex, a stupid kicker. Defense, what's that, like 6 bench spots? So a typical setup. Only thing that would change is maybe I don't know, maybe you might throw in there like a second flex spot, but this is a pretty standard setup. We're gonna, I'm pretty sure it's 30 seconds. Good, 30 seconds. I don't want people sitting here taking 9 years to make these picks. But how are we doing? Stream says it is healthy. Thank goodness. All right, fire away the questions. We're still gonna do questions on these drafts. I need to pay attention. Maybe queue up some players so I don't get screwed up here. Unfortunately, it doesn't have my rankings. So on the Underdog one, I can just like upload my rankings. I don't even have to worry about it. It's not a problem. But in this one, I do not have. I'm not going to be able to pull my rankings up as I'm doing this. So we're gonna have to try and go off memory. Obviously, I would draft Cooper Kupp if he's available. We'll get the Q there. He's not available. Yeah, typically your favorite between Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase here. I've done the video on Chase, but it's quite close. I'm almost starting to flip flop on this Jefferson and Chase thing. I think I'm gonna go with Jamar Chase. I'm gonna go with what we said in the video. It is getting like it's like a toss up, and I really wish when I come to this decision that someone just makes it for me because like they're so awesome. But I'm starting to think in a full PPR setting, I really like this Vikings offense. So maybe I'm starting to lean Jefferson, but I'll let you guys know if I finally make that change. I think in standard, you're probably going Chase. But PPR, man, it's getting close between him and Jefferson. All right. No questions right now. You guys don't need anything answered. No analysis on players. Nothing. All right. Why do you think Adam Thielen is ranked in the hundreds on ESPN? Seems crazy to me. I mean, I don't know. I have him as well, I guess I don't know exactly where I have him. I'll pull up PPR right now. I have him as one of the most undervalued players in drafts, but I have him 50th. So yeah, if he's in the 100s on ESPN, that is quite a discount on what you're getting. I have no idea because ESPN isn't great at this point. We're gonna see how Sleeper is. I honestly have no idea. I didn't even scroll through the rankings here. Looks relatively normal. Sleeper usually does a really good job of updating their ADPs, updating their ranks. So I would expect, I would expect that this is kind of, I mean, there's some values kind of scrolling through here, but that's like a pretty normal ranking set. Better than what was it 2 weeks ago when we were trying to use like ESPN and Yahoo ADPs and they were absolutely terrible. But to answer your question, I have no idea. Vikings offense going to be really pass heavy, going to be really, really good. You're going to want pieces of that offense. Thielen's one of the best picks in drafts right now. So I don't have an answer for you as to why he's in the hundreds on ESPN. Yeah, I'm visiting the city of the team with the worst record next year. Yeah, well, it depends, Is Baker going to Seattle? They're probably not going to have the worst record if Baker's going there. I should probably stop talking and make a pick. I am up in one spot. We're not going to take Josh Allen. So we got Mark Andrews. We've got Debo. Where's the Q? Can I not? Oh, is this the Q button? Am I just an idiot? All right, there it is. Yeah, Mark Andrews. would be a really nice pick here, actually. I'd definitely make that if I have the opportunity to. Debo. I don't know if I'd go Javonte Williams. Who are the other running backs we could take at this spot? He goes with them. So I'm thinking Debo is probably our pick here. I don't really want any of those running backs. Yeah, it's like Debo, Mike Evans, Keenan Allen, T. Higgins, all those guys. Do I have Debo first? No, I have Evans slightly ahead of him. I don't think it matters which one. Yeah, we'll take Evans because I would say play the ADP game, but the odds that Mike Evans is there at, I wish they would put the pick overall. So they put 3-7, but I mean, I guess I can pull up here. 3-7 is roughly into like the low 30s. I didn't think Mike Evans was going to be there, so probably not going to worth playing the ADP game. I would have really liked this start. So I wish I had picked the 8th spot because this is a really good beginning. Justin Jefferson, Mark Andrews, that's a really strong start. Definitely want to lean running back probably the next one. I probably want to lean running back too. But curious, in a 14-team league, can you try and get some sort of edge and go with like RB0? I mean, I guess me and Chen here, Cup and Debo, and I've got Chase and Evans. One of us might end up going RB0 with how thin running back is going to be. But we'll kind of see how that ends up happening. All right, question. Golladay isn't listed on the depth chart. I don't know what depth chart that's referring to, but no, Galladay's fine. Galladay's going to be one of the receivers on the team this season. I don't know. Are you referring to the release some like any depth chart right now is like some intern just like posting it online? Like they're not giving us depth charts right now. Camp hasn't even really started yet. But if that's what you're referring to. Who are my favorite and least favorite second year receivers? I would need give me a list of the second year receivers. I can't remember that off the top of my head exactly who. I mean, obviously, Jamar Chase is probably going to top the list of second year receivers, but give me a list of the second year receivers and I'll like rank them for you, but don't give it to me off the top of my head. Absolutely not. How confident am I in the Eagles offense this year? I like them. I did back off a little bit on Miles Sanders, just a tad, because I was like so overweight on him that there was no reason, I guess, to be so overweight. I think just off memory, he was going like as the running back 27 and I had him at like 21. And so I think I pulled him back to maybe that 23, 24 range. I still feel really good about Miles Sanders, but again, you don't need to rank someone like 2 rounds higher than they're going to end up going. I mean, yeah, I think that Hurts is going to be really, really good. I think that bringing AJ Brown, I'm not sure people understand kind of the impact that's going to make. It's going to allow Devonta Smith to be in like secondary, maybe at times tertiary cornerbacks. It's just going to open everything up for everyone else, makes everyone's job a little bit easier. And they go from a team that had like no weapons at times in the receiving game because teams could kind of scheme away Devonta Smith to now it's like, oh my goodness, an elite passing attack. So I feel very confident in the Eagles this season. That doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's going to be a value in terms of ADP because some of them do still come at a cost. But like I love Hurts. I love Miles Sanders. I love Devonta Smith. And I like AJ Brown. Sometimes he's a little bit, goes a little bit early in drafts, but I really like this offense. I feel pretty good about the upside there. All right. Allen and Mahomes go in round 3. Pitts is off the board. So we're not going to go tight end at this pick. If we wanted to continue with RB0, we can take AJ Brown. AJ Brown would probably be our best pick there. Or we can go with Akers. Because Akers and Montgomery are like the last 2 of the running backs. Let's do this. I have 10 seconds to make this decision. Akers, Montgomery, Brown, sick. I have like back to back. All right. I got that in like barely at the end. I think the correct move is to go with Akers. But I was very intrigued how the team may have ended up if we had gone with AJ Brown. Just going Chase Evans Brown is like an insane combination. But what I'm fearful of is in a 14 team league, I don't know. I just started looking down here and I can see Damian Harris on the board. And if we're going to start getting into the 4th round and it's going to already start getting thin, like we got to start 2 every week. So yeah, that's tough. Love this start. Dalvin Cook, Tyreek Hill, AJ Brown. Yeah, I like everyone's start around me. I mean, I still love my start because I think Akers is like very clearly the top back. People who are concerned about him being like, oh, is he not healthy? He's not going to bounce back. Like, I still think that's a minor concern. I think Akers is like pretty clearly their top running back, pretty clearly top running back on a really good team, good talent, still very, very young. I mean, I really like our start. I just wish we had gotten Mark Andrews here. But yeah, we'll see how the team turns out. But yeah, I think I was very fearful of what could happen if running backs really start going in this range. People just start loading up. We'd have been forced to just grab someone in the next round, maybe at not a value. And I think Akers at 3.7. I'm at 3.6. So slight value there. Let's pull up the questions again. Someone asked about Mark. Is Mark Andrews worth a 3rd round in redraft? Never taken a tight end high, which means I never get Kelsey thoughts. Yeah. I mean, Kelsey Andrews are 2nd round picks. I guess in a 14 team league, 2nd round. I'm not saying like a 12 team league, they're 2nd round picks. They should be going in that that 14 to 20 range, somewhere in this whole area. I think Andrews went in a really good spot. We look at like Zeke, Connor, Williams, Fournette, this whole like Higgins, Keenan, Williams, Debo range. Like this whole range, I think is kind of like a tier below Andrews, and then Kelsey's a little bit above Andrews. And so I like where he goes right here, kind of ends. Like I still think I'd take some of these running backs ahead of him. And obviously these like elite receivers. I think he goes in a good range. 2nd round is fine to take a tight end if you know that they're going to like absolutely dominate. Like Mark Andrews is going to crush this season. So our next pick, I don't see us taking a running back. I mean, you could argue for like Mitchell, but it's a full PPR league. That's kind of tough. I don't really want Gibson. I don't want this. I'm not going with one of them. I was hoping Pittman would still be on the board because ADP was lower, but of course everyone here knows my rankings, so they're going to take him. This is gross. What is like, oh my God. Yeah, it's like Metcalf. I don't want to go with a quarterback right now. I don't think that would be our best pick. So I don't want to go with quarterback. I'm not going with a tight end. I got worse value than everyone else. Oh my God, am I going to go with DK Metcalf here? Who would be... Yeah, Deontay's gone. He's gone. Sutton, actually. I have Sutton a little bit above... Honestly, a decent chunk above Metcalf. I guess my only thing with Metcalf was the whole... Yeah, we'll take Sutton. The whole thing with Metcalf is like if they get Baker, which like, you know, I've had that take a few times. I really just think, how does Seattle enter the season with like Drew Lock and Geno Smith, unless their plan is to tank and get a number 1, you know, or a top like 5 pick next season, grab a high-end quarterback. But I still think that Metcalf, like, he has the possibility of having really good quarterback play. Not really good. Baker's not really good, but much better quarterback play than he's got right now, in which case his ADP would go way up and be a solid pick. But then again, you think, you know, it's a full PPR league. But I like Sutton. You guys know I love the Denver offense, so we're going to go with the rankings. We're going to keep him. And honestly, our wide receiver core stacked. I mean, for a 14-team league, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Courtland Sutton, that is locked and loaded every single week. We feel great about that, and I feel good about Akers at the running back 1 spot. Running back's going to be tough. It's a 14-team league. I mean, what are you going to do? Like, a lot of these teams did opt to taking, like, the double running backs. We'll kind of see how some of these teams shape out. I mean, if we're looking at, like, McCaffrey, Zeke, Josh Allen, the team that's on the clock right now, like, obviously, McCaffrey, Zeke is a wonderful combination of running backs. They're probably going to, like, you know, forego the position for a long time. But let's see how their wide receivers do turn out. How does Amari Cooper look if he's got Jacoby Brissett as his quarterback? How can they kind of piece together their wide receiver core here? They're probably going to double dip. That would be my guess at wide receiver. But Dalton Schultz, interesting. We're going with a cowboy, and former cowboy kind of stack. You love to see it. For our next pick, pull this up over here. For our next pick, I don't think we would go. I don't think we'd go quarterback again. I think we got to wait a little bit longer. I still feel a little bit behind at the running back position. Yeah, I mean, I can go with Sanders. I can go with Clyde. I can go with Harris, but I don't love Harris. I can get one of Sanders and Clyde, so I'm not going to go with Harris. Wide receiver, I'm not going with Michael Thomas. That doesn't make a whole lot of sense for our team right now. St. Brown, Thielen, both really, really good picks. Who do I have between those two in Thielen? Thielen I have at 502 in a 12-team league. I don't know why I didn't pull up the 14-team rankings, but I have him as a really good pick. Who would be the running backs here? Sanders I have at 601, so pick 61. Huh. I'm not going to end up getting a good running back there. But Thielen is such a good value. Do I go with this like modified RB0 build? Oh, I don't know. I'm not going to get Thielen at the next pick. It's probably not smart to do. It is probably smarter to grab Sanders. Who would I get? Oh my God, my running backs would be so bad. I'm going to be lame. I feel like I'm being lame because I wanted to take Jamar Chase, Evans, and then Brown. And I wanted to grab Thielen there to grab just like this unbelievable wide receiver core. And that's something to consider in like a 14-team, a 16-team league. For those of you who haven't like played in those formats, there is something to the fact of like, you know that you're going to struggle at some point. The bye weeks are going to be tougher with extended league sizes. The injuries are going to be really difficult to overcome at times. Like waiver wires are going to be very, very, very thin, especially if you're playing in like, a difficult format. Or like you're playing people who are like paying attention. You're not in like a hometown league where no one pays attention. And so there's something to the fact of just loading up at a position, just saying, hey, I love these four guys. I know one of them starting on the bench, but I'm going to have to rotate them in. I'm going to need them at some point. If I think they shatter their ADP, I have trade bait. Like I have options here. So I think it would have been totally fine starting our bench. I just go back to the fact that it's concerning if you wait too long at running back in these formats. For those of you who have not played in these, it is going to get disgusting in this range. Really, really disgusting. Like backups are being taken, and I can't be starting a backup because then what if like Akers does go down, and like I don't want to screw myself. So yeah, that's kind of the rationale for being lame, like we're being. All right, let's try to answer a question here. Pitts in the third. I don't think that's a move I would make. Like if I'm Nick is GOAT here, wonderful. If I'm this team, I think maybe I think I would have gone with AJ Brown. You've got Harris, you've got Javonte Williams. I think personally I'd have gone with AJ Brown there. I know that Pitts is good, but like you have Cooks and Mooney now, your wide receivers. Like I think Pitts probably moves a little bit later. I'll just pull up the tight end rankings and like kind of confirm the thoughts that I'm giving here. But yeah, Pitts at 32. I guess that's not too far back there, but 308. I think I'd prefer at that pick to have gone with AJ Brown. And like if it moved to here, I don't know. I think Pitts is more of a late third round pick than an early third round pick. You're definitely assuming it works out. So if you take Pitts here, part of me says like if Pitts ends up being a good pick, Pitts ends up being a great pick. Like I think Pitts is, if he hits, a monster. Don't take another tight end. Like I know a lot of people like to grab like one late, especially in a deep format, grab one late. If you're assuming he works out in the early third round, he's a monster for you. He'll probably be a first round pick next season if he works out in the third round this year. Just go for it, and I probably wouldn't even take a backup because if you're relying on the backup over Pitts, like that really didn't work out, and you're gonna have a tough time winning a 14-team league if you took a tight end in the third and they don't end up working out. So more of a late third round pick for me personally, but I don't mind the pick there. It's fine. We're next. We haven't even looked at the running backs or anything. So we've got Kenneth Walker, Kareem Hunt, Chase Edmonds, James Cook, Rashad Penny. That's not bad. That's not too bad. That's not too bad. That's our queue there. Wide receivers. We could go with Hopkins, Juju. Gabriel Davis is probably a best option. I feel like I would rather just go with Gabriel Davis. Tight end. No. I don't see anyone standing out at tight end. Quarterback, Dak. I don't think I want to go there though. Let's grab Gabriel Davis. I think that's probably our best move. Could have gone with Hopkins. Basically the same thing that I was saying. Was that the last mock draft Monday? And just being like, okay, Chase, Evans, Sutton, Akers, Sanders. All right, starting lineup's filled up. So now we're starting our bench. Well, if I grab Hopkins when I'm starting my bench, I'm assuming that he's not starting for me, so I don't care that he's suspended. He wasn't going to start anyways. Once he comes back, he's a good pick. So he should basically go in that range in a redraft league. Benches are filled. We're starting lineup's filled. Starting our bench. Who do I want that can start producing midway point of the season? Well, Hopkins, when he comes off of his suspension, he's going to outperform his ADP. So you could have gone Hopkins there, but I think Gabriel Davis is set up for a really, really nice season. Getting him in the mid-8th, 14 or mid-6th, 14th round, 14-team league. I think that's a good play for us. I'm kind of hoping one of these running backs is there at our next pick because I want to grab that third running back just to secure like a little bit. I'll do this so you guys can see everything. But I'm hoping one of those running backs is there. If not, it looks like quarterback is starting to go. Although worth noting, on this whole turn, I'm the only one that didn't take a quarterback yet. So I would assume these teams would start, not taking quarterback, in which case there's probably going to be, a decent gap for the next one. How many total teams have not taken a quarterback? 1, 2, 4. There's still 4 teams. So this part is less dangerous. If we forgo quarterback, we can chance it again in the 8th round because these guys probably aren't going to take one. But if we get into the 9th round, it's going to go this way. We're probably going to expect more to get taken here and here. So let's plan on taking quarterback in the 9th. I think that'd be a good move. So we have 2 moves. We're hoping for running back. We'll consider tight end in 8, but maybe continue with wide receiver. Make sure we're exceptionally strong at that spot. Don't allow anyone else to get value. That's another thing. Don't let teams like off the hook. If someone started off and they're very weak at a position, don't let them off the hook and allow them to get insane value somewhere. Keep attacking. I'm going to keep attacking the wide receiver position if it doesn't work out with running back, and I'm not going to let people get insane picks. It looks like we are going to get running backs. That's good news for us. Who do I have between these 3? So Edmonds, it's got to be Edmonds, then Cook, then Penny, but it's probably close. Edmonds, then Cook, then Penny. Actually, a pretty big drop down to Penny. It's Edmonds and Cook pretty much at the top. All right, so we'll just take whichever one they don't end up taking. Pretty easy move for us. Yeah, time is up. Singletary. All right, yeah, we'll take Edmonds. Good. Okay, I feel good about this. Akers, Sanders, Edmonds at running back. Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Courtland Sutton, Gabriel Davis at wide receiver. Nice. Again, 8th round is going to be for our wide receiver or tight end. We would take Dallas Goedert. We would consider Dawson Knox. That's probably it. Knox goes. I don't know that we're going to get a tight end. We might just double dip late because I'm not taking most of these guys. Oh, this guy's definitely going to get auto-drafted, Gronk. Deserves it. Yeah. My guess is we're gonna end up going with a wide receiver at this pick. I don't want Pat. I don't want Gesicki at this spot. Everyone else is going too late. All right, we'll go with wide receiver. I promise I'll answer questions. Honestly, keep firing the questions because we're gonna do those at the end of the mock draft for sure. I'll try and mix them in, but I feel like it's also better for me to talk through some of the draft here. But keep firing, please. Lockett, Ayuk. Ooh, yeah, we're gonna see a drop here. That's kind of what we're looking at. Oh man, there goes Lockett. So we have Ayuk and Gage still on the board. I don't know if they're going to make it to us, but those would be really, really nice options. If we got Ayuk or Gage and then quarterback in the ninth, that would be optimal. But I want Olave. Part of me with Olave doesn't know what to do. I need more reports from camp because you've got obviously Michael Thomas. We don't know his status. Jarvis Landry doing well. I believe Winston can perform in this offense. I don't love the offense. I don't think it's going to be amazing, but they love Olave, and it's if Michael Thomas is there, if Landry's there, if Olave is there, that's a lot of people. Once Kamara comes back, there goes all the players right in a row. Wonderful. But if Thomas comes back, it's it's a lot of people to give targets to, and it's Winston, doing it. I like Winston, but he's not incredible or anything. All right, well, this stinks. It's probably Kirk, right? That's probably the play here. Running back, there's nothing that's gonna. No. There's nothing that is ranked too low. There's nothing we're really looking at and needing here. Kirk goes? My God. Oh, no. Okay. Let's put someone up. We'll put Claypool up. Ew. Maybe we should. I don't know. We'll take Claypool because that's what's gonna be the top there. Who was top in our rankings? That's gross. We really needed one of, Tony, Olave, Ayuk, Gage, Kirk. Literally, they all go right in a row before us. Who would be top? Lazard. Lazard would have been the play. Lazard, Sky Moore, then Claypool would have been the pick. I was thinking Lazard when I was looking at it. You live and you learn. We probably should have queued up. Lazard for that one. But we'll go another one. Really, you're going to go with Justin Herbert and Aaron Rodgers? I don't know. Oh, okay. Because of the auto. Oh, I'm on auto. Classic. I was going to say, yeah, that doesn't make any sense. Oh, are we going to get... Is he going to auto pick Stafford too? Because that would be annoying if he just keeps auto drafting the quarterback there and then we don't end up getting... Because I think we probably would have gotten Aaron Rodgers. We want Trey Lance here, though. If we don't get Lance, we want Stafford. We don't get Stafford, we want... no one. I wouldn't take a quarterback in the next round if we don't get Trey Lance or Stafford. Those would be the two that I'd get. And again, I would not imagine, why would you draft another quarterback if you've got these elite options? It doesn't make a whole lot of sense. You can draft another one, just not now. This is a 14-team league. You need depth. You need depth at positions. There's no reason to draft another quarterback. So I'm not concerned, but this happens in hometown leagues for sure when people do things that you're not exactly fully expecting them to do. One question. Let's see if we can get one question, because I think we're going to get these quarterbacks. Is it bad to take Chase in the first and then Higgins in the third? It's not bad, but it's not something I'd seek out. If it happens to where, you drafted Chase because you got him in a value, whatever, you liked him, and you get to the third round and it's super clear that Higgins is the top wide receiver on the board, I think that's a situation where you just go for it. Don't worry too much. It's an incredible offense. These two are going to produce. I think it's totally fine to draft both of them. Of course, yes, you increase variance and you increase the floor more, the variance more increases on the bottom end if they have a really bad week. But how many really bad weeks are they going to have? Usually if one of them duds, the other one went nuclear, and you can kind of just use them as a player block and say I know a decent amount of points are going to be scored from the combination of these two players. And so that's kind of how I'd be treating it. But yeah, I think it's totally fine. Maybe a little bit more tough if it was second round, your first two picks, but it's such a good offense. I'm totally fine doing that. Okay, so Carter goes. So we're going to take Trey Lance. Wonderful. I was just thinking through things. Yeah, I think this was a smart, again, multiple teams don't have a quarterback. I'm expecting Stafford to go. I'm thinking someone could panic and start drafting Carr, Cousins, Eventually, people are going to look at the quarterbacks on the board, see it's a 14-team league, and be like, I need a backup. And then these guys are going to start going. And then I have Zach Wilson as my starting quarterback. So very, very bad things could happen very quickly if you don't pay attention. But I think Trey Lance could be like a top 5 quarterback this season with the rushing. So grab him, kind of grab the end of that quarterback tier. We like it. Roster, looking good. I think we're looking good. I mean, let me know if you guys like disagree. But I think we're looking solid. Trey Lance, Cam Akers, Miles Sanders, Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Cortland Sutton, and then a solid bench so far. Davis, Chase Edmonds. Probably should have gone again with Lazard there, but is what it is. Let's do one question. Walker going 2 rounds ahead of the starter and Penny is insane. I agree. I'll pull up running back. Do I have Penny ahead of Walker? I know it's close. I have Walker right ahead of Penny, but I have Walker overvalued. So Walker is the 29th running back off boards. I have him 36 overvalued. Yeah, no, I agree. I think there's a case to be made for Walker ahead of Penny, like right ahead of him, because ultimately I do think he's the better talent and Penny can never stay healthy. Like if you want to talk about like injury prone, I don't label people injury prone, but Penny has never shown us he can stay healthy for more than like a month. With that being said, he's the starter. So yeah, I mean, it makes complete sense that you'd think he'd be going earlier, wouldn't be going multiple rounds later. I do think the ADPs are a little bit ridiculous right now. Am I an auto? No, we fixed it. Don't worry. Can't take anyone in the Miami backfield. It's way too crowded. Well, it's crowded with like bad players and players that are owed zero money. But in terms of like who's being paid, it's one dude, and his name's Chase Edmonds. Like they're paying one person basically. They're paying Mostert a little bit. We'll see if he's healthy to start the year. He's only going to be early down. They're not going to throw it to him at all. Edmonds isn't going to get a ton of carries, but in terms of receptions, he's going to have a lot of receptions. So mid 7th round for him as our, 3rd running back in a full PPR league. There are going to be plenty of weeks where we can just put Edmonds in there. We know he's going to get a few receptions. We know he's going to be solid in PPR. I think the case more in like standard and non-PPR formats against him. All right, we don't know who we're picking here. Not touching these running backs, and that is what I was afraid of. These running backs are disgusting at this point. Wow. I'm not going running back at this pick. I refuse. I'll protest their position. Landry's not a bad option here. Osborne is a pretty good pick, even though he's way down there. We should probably start with our tight end. Everyone else is grabbing these guys. We should probably do Cole, right? Let's put Cole there. Yeah. I'm thinking Cole's our option here. So we'll grab him. I think Landry would also have been a good pick. Kind of panicked at the end there. Let's see what the rankings have for tight end. So yeah, Cole was the top pick. He was at 105. I don't know where we are, but if we sort by all, we're around like 120, 130. So we got a value there. After him, it would have been Irv. So it was Cole, then Irv. Is Tunyon still on the board? Tunyon after that. We don't know about his status, but it's going to be really good when he comes back, probably. Would really like to get one of these 2 wide receivers at our next pick. Osborne is very, very low in these rankings. Let's pull up wide receiver. See what we do when those guys go off the board. Because, yeah, Dotson's gone, right? Dotson's our love and joy, pride and joy here. And yes, I'm fine. I know I actually haven't seen anything really about it. Pretty sure McLaurin got his contract today, but we knew that was coming. Like, that doesn't change my opinion of Dotson at all. I'm not changing the rankings. We knew McLaurin was going to get paid. But I still like Dotson a lot. Landry. Okay, Landry's off now. Rondale, I'm assuming, is gone, right? Yeah, Rondale's gone. Van. Looks like Van is gone. Wonderful. Oof. Big oof right now. Yeah, we might go with like Pickens. Osborne, Pickens, gross. I don't really want Chark. Pretty sure Myers would be. Oh, great. Yeah, okay. Osborne goes, Pickens goes. We're on the clock. I feel like I would go with Myers. Actually, I skipped over him. Myers was ahead of Osborne in the rankings. It's not a great spot to take them. I don't need another quarterback. Do I just take Gainwell instead? It's not a good spot to take Myers. Maybe I take Gainwell or like a Davis Price or something. Yeah, let's do Gainwell. Oh, I have Miles Sanders. Maybe I shouldn't have gone with Gainwell. Well, we got him anyways. Well, we're basically just assuming the Eagles are going to be really good at this point. Maybe Myers is the pick there. I don't love it as was that our 6th wide receiver? Pull it up here. Chase, Evans, Sutton, Davis, Claypool. How often are we starting Myers? Yeah, I'd rather grab someone with a little bit more upside. I don't think Myers is ever going to be someone we'd be starting in this league. But I had to grab someone at running back because we only have Akers, Sanders, Edmonds, and Gainwell. I do think we've done a good job of grabbing pass catchers, people with like relatively high floors. Oh, we don't actually have that many. Oh, okay. Okay, so we are looking good. I thought we had way more rounds to like get running backs in. We're fine. Yeah, we're doing fine. We're doing fine. We're gonna do defense and kicker last. We have 2 more spots. Do we want to grab like a backup tight end? We might want to do that. Because I feel okay with running back. Maybe we'll take one at the end, but you got to think in a format like this, like if Cole Kmet ends up like not being great and we're forced to look on waivers and we're forced to look at like Trey McBride and like Mo Alley Cox and Jelani Woods, it's going to be ugly for us. So maybe we want to take let's take another tight end here. Because that could be a dangerous spot for us. Higbee. There's news, so Higbee, that was a month ago. I don't remember what the news is, but something about Higbee came out to like maybe he's not going to be 100%. I can't remember what the news is. I'm not overly concerned, especially as your backup. But Higbee, Njoku, Hayden Hurst, those would be. Oh, actually, Njoku is ahead of Higbee. Oh, there he goes. Wonderful. So still got Higbee. And Hurst is like right kind of behind. Oh, wait. No, it's Hayden Hurst first. Huh. Hayden Hurst, yeah, 131. Yeah, I think it would be smart for us to take Hurst, grab the 2. It's going to look gross there. I think everyone else might start doing kind of the same thing, grabbing that extra tight end. Do we grab a quarterback? Let's say something happens to where Trey Lance doesn't work out. Are we comfortable enough with our team to also grab a backup quarterback? Because we want like a Fields, a Matt Ryan. You probably would want, actually, if you're doing this, Matt Ryan. You want someone stable, like someone that you know is just going to like get production. Daniel Jones. Here we go. Jones, Matt Ryan, Fields. I think that would be a smart move. Because again, I think people might start taking them, and we don't want a situation where like Kenny Pickett and Marcus Mariota and Trubisky are our only options if Trey Lance doesn't end up working out. So that might be best. Again, pulling up our roster. Do we feel comfortable enough with Jamar Chase, Mike Evans, Courtland Sutton, Gabriel Davis, Chase Claypool? Maybe. I don't know. What would you guys do? You have one more bench spot. Do you take the extra? It'd probably be wide receiver because it's PPR and I'm probably using wide receiver in that flex spot mostly. So I don't think I need another running back here. Do you take that extra wide receiver, or do you go with the backup quarterback and secure it? Interested to know what you guys think. So let me know. I think my lean is to to grab one of these two quarterbacks. If one of them is not there, okay, if one of these two aren't there, then I'll go with another wide receiver. And I don't even know if I'd go with pure upside. I'd probably get someone who I think has like a chance to be solid. I'd go with like a Paris Campbell here. Or a KJ Hamler. Tyquan Thornton. Isaiah McKenzie. Zay Jones. Amari Rogers. Those would be the names I'd be looking at in this range. You're getting the quarterback. Yeah. It's a tough call. I think that's a difficult one. I just think it's pretty risky to not take the quarterback. And do I really think like Paris Campbell's starting over those guys? And I can probably, yeah. I would probably just grab your backup. I would probably grab a backup quarterback, ensure that you're not gonna have some like horrible things happen to your team, because you just like lose. You like lose the league if you get down to this range. And you don't want to just like lose the league. So what I would actually technically do if this was a draft happening right now is I would forego probably both defense and kicker. I just wouldn't draft either of them. I would take two of these like wide receivers. I'd see which one maybe I like more. Maybe someone gets hurt and I like have to end up going with them. Because defense and kicker is going to be fine for you in free agency. We'll draft defense and kicker here because we'll pretend this is like your actual draft. Many of you, that's going to happen close enough to the season. Like people love to do that with like 1 week left. Like if there's 1 week left in the season, the odds that one of your wide receivers happens to like tear their ACL and it works out for you that you drafted like no defense and now you pick one up, like the odds are nothing's going to happen. Just take the defense you were going to take the kicker you're going to take. It's not worth not doing that, basically. But we'll go with, was it the Colts that had a good opening? Yeah, Seattle week 1. Take that. I was actually queuing them up to look at other teams. I want to see who the Packers play. Saints, Detroit, that's not a bad start. Ravens have a good defense. Ooh, Raiders, KC, that's not great. Patriots, who do they play? Miami and the Jets, not terrible. No, yeah, I think I made the right move. And then who even cares at all about kicker? I'm just going to take the top one, even if we don't know if they're playing. Yeah, it looks like you guys were going with quarterback. Yeah. No, I think Matt Ryan's going to be like really good this season. And again, stable. I wanted someone to where it's like, oh no, Jimmy Garoppolo actually is a starting quarterback for Trey Lance. Like, okay, Matt Ryan's going to be fine. Good offensive line, good weapons. He's going to be fine for me. He's going to work out. Trey Lance isn't as good as we thought. The rushing isn't there. He looks terrified. Matt Ryan's going to be good. I didn't take any chances with Matt Ryan. So I like this team. There's the roster there. We'll end up picking someone else. It is tough. I would say if you guys are like, commissioners, you guys are in touch with commissioners of your league, it's a little bit difficult. A little bit difficult with 6 bench spots. I would say in a deeper format, because you're kind of forced to take backups at like tight end, backups at quarterback, where you might not be forced to do so in a 10 or 12 team league, adding that extra bench spot is valuable. So I would say like if we would really like that extra, we'd really like that extra bench spot to have that extra running back, have that extra wide receiver, also take those backup kickers, because you do obviously feel a little bit thin, and it's not like you're like loading up teams, right? I mean, there's still like okay players here, but like, these aren't like superstars or anything. So 7. If you're in a 14-16 team league, you probably want 7 bench spots, especially the ones I was in last year had 2 flex spots you had to start. So you really need to expand your bench if you're in a league that's got a bunch starting and all these players. So we'll pull it up here. That is the team. Let me know if there's like a team that you want me to like look at in depth more. You lost 3 weeks last year to kicker differences. Well, yeah, but you didn't know that was gonna happen. Like you didn't know that was gonna happen when you were drafting that like this kicker's gonna be good, that kicker's gonna be good. Realistically, I bet you on the top like 7 kickers, like 3 of them are gonna be guys that we were not even considering drafting early. Like it's just not a position that it's not a position that you can predict it pretty well like week to week, but from like a full season standpoint, there's always guys that, you know, come out of nowhere that like do really well that were being drafted, like undrafted honestly at times, to where it isn't worth it. And you say you lost a few weeks, but like you can't know that if you had drafted a kicker a little bit earlier, that in those weeks they would have scored like 5-6 more points and like won it for you. Like it's just not worth it. I promise you. Someone also asked today, the site right now does not have defense. It does not have kicker rankings. Right now, I'm working on a system for auction. So it's going to automatically post, standard PPR and half PPR pricing charts for auction leagues. Once I finish that, the next project is defense and kicker. It will not be attached to each rankings. They'll have their own page because, like I say, defense kicker last 2 rounds. So there's no reason to like mix it in with the other rankings. There's just going to be a specific set of rankings that is defense rankings. So they'll be there. They'll take into account very heavily first 4 weeks because we're always streaming defense. So it's not necessarily, you might look at defense and be like, oh, why are they so high? They're not like that elite of a defense. It's going to be because I'm looking very heavily at schedule when making that. But yeah. What's the best strategy for a 16-man full PPR league? Starting off with value. In a 16-team league, you're really just clinging to value. You're probably wanting to go even because if you abandon something in that big of a format, it's really tough to make it up. I mean, we're in a 14-team league. I abandoned running back. Not even abandoned. I took 2 in the first 5 rounds, and I still feel weak. And I'm sure there are teams here that like feel very weak at running back. It said team 2 is fire. Let's look at team 2. So McCaffrey, Zeke, great. Yeah, I was wondering how they're going to do it wide receiver. Cooper, Juju, Elijah Moore, Galladay, Tyler Boyd. So obviously, probably going to be one of the weaker teams at wide receiver. I think that's fine wide receivers. Has Josh Allen, has Dalton Schultz, backups behind McCaffrey and Zeke, Dameon Pierce, Marlon Mack. Obviously, that's tough. If McCaffrey goes down, if Zeke goes down, this team's going to be like in a lot of trouble. But assuming these 2 work out, yeah, I think that's a really good team. Obviously, as you guys know, if you look at the site for like best picks, like you are at an advantage if you have these top picks. You can just like build much better teams. I like some of the starts over here though. I think everyone did like a pretty solid job. No one's standing out, at least like briefly looking at it to where it's like awful. I think people did like a solid one. Not seeing too many questions though. Easy position to stream. Rivers potential breakout. You're probably talking about tight end. Oh, tight end is rough. Yeah, no, tight end's interesting. I like this strategy, especially in a deeper one of doing this double because like I think Kmet's gonna be good. I think Hurst's gonna be good. Odds are I'm wrong on at least one of them though, so let's just take 2 and like see which one works out. But once you get into like Gesicki, Pat, Kmet, yeah, he did get auto pick Gronk, Alberto or Smith. All of these guys are pretty much the same. And so you're trying to hit on one of them, trying to hit on a breakout. But at the end of the day, all these guys are going to produce like pretty terribly for week to week. They're not going to be very good. You can stream the position. But with that being said, yes, I think they're pointing out this team only has Irv Smith. That's tough. I mean, like you maybe just take the Marvin Jones and make another tight end because like if that doesn't work out, there are not good tight ends for you. Yes, you can stream it, but it's not going to be good. Take on Julio and underdog currently. I like him as like a last guy in. I do think he's going to sign somewhere. Where he signs is going to determine his value. Is it Baltimore? Baltimore would probably be one of the best spots for him. Still a chance that Green Bay, if they really like don't feel comfortable with the wide receivers, they seem to really like Amari Rodgers though. So they like Amari Rodgers. They drafted, multiple wide receivers. Like my guess is that they don't bring someone else in. I thought initially they might bring like a Will Fuller in. Like my guess now is that they don't, because they seem to really like their wide receivers right now. So we'll see what they end up doing. But yeah, I think Baltimore is pretty much a lock to bring in a vet, whether that's Fuller, whether that's Julio, I don't know. But whoever they bring in, I mean, that's going to be a very valuable player, and they're going to increase a lot towards the end. So yeah, Julio, I think he's good. I wouldn't start taking him early, but I think he's a good pick. Seeing you're valuing Fields comment more because of the Matt Nagy effect. Not seeing you talk about Urban Meyer. Yeah. Well, I mean, part of the year they didn't have Urban Meyer. I don't remember exactly when he left, but they were like still bad even when he wasn't there. No, I agree. I think that the Jaguars as well are going to take a step up. That's why we were all over Etienne before this like insane ADP rise. Where'd he go in the sleeper draft? That's actually something I want to see. 3rd round, like we were getting Etienne an underdog in like the 6th round earlier, and like then he'd creep up in the 5th and the 4th, and like that's why we were all over him. I was all over Kirk for a while. He's gone up a lot in ADP. I'm more not talking about them now because of ADP. Like we're getting a lot earlier in ADP now, so it's getting not as advantageous to grab these guys. But yes, Trevor Lawrence going to be a good quarterback, going to improve the season. Honestly, a guy you can get pretty late for a good value. I like this stack of Kirk Cousins and Trevor Lawrence, because Cousins I think is going to have a phenomenal season. But if it doesn't work out, I think Trevor Lawrence can be really good as well. I think Jacksonville can be pretty solid. But yeah, I think both of them. It's the Nagy and the Urban effect. Both terrible coaches. Best to worst, half PPR, Aaron Jones, Swift, Kamara. Jeez, I'm crow. Aaron Jones, Swift, Kamara. Well, Kamara's last because we know the suspension's probably coming, because he's last. I think it would be Swift, then Mixon, then probably Aaron Jones, then CeeDee Lamb. Although CeeDee Lamb and Aaron Jones, maybe you could kind of flip-flop. But definitely Swift first, then Mixon. Yeah, then I think Aaron Jones, CeeDee Lamb, then Kamara. Again, I think I have Kamara now as like a mid-3rd round pick. If we're pretty sure a 6-game suspension's coming, it's tough now to take him in the 2nd round. So I think he's more a 3rd round pick. How do you suggest you do mock drafts if you're in a keeper league? Feels pointless. Do sleeper. So if you go in, let's go back. All right. If I make a mock draft here, and I haven't done this yet, so maybe I'm doing this wrong. You can set player. So I can say, oh, Nick Chubb is my 3rd round keeper. You can set that. And again, this is like a free website to use. So then mock draft against people, you can send out the link here. You can mock draft against computer, do whatever you want, but set other people's keepers as well. Set everyone's keeper, then start the draft and do it that way. I believe this is the only site that will, what? I thought this would, completed. Okay. I wanted to bring this back up for you guys. I think this is the only site that'll allow you to do that. Maybe there's another one out there, but yeah, that's how you prepare for that. Thoughts on quarterback value in a large league? You panicked and you took Mahomes. I think you should have went AJ Brown. Oh, here. I'm assuming you're team 5. So I'm gonna do a write-up for Superflex onto the website, because a lot of people ask about that. My general stance on quarterback is like, you know how I say the data shows we want to be targeting this kind of range, this like Burrow, Hurts, Kyler, Dak, Brady, Rodgers, Lance, Stafford, Wilson, Lamar. This whole range is optimal to target. And so wherever that range ends up in your format, that's where I probably want to be going after them. So if you're in a super deep league and people taking quarterback early, it's more just about I want to target that range and just figure out a way to get that range, kind of like I did here. The Claypool pick was kind of like a throwaway pick because, I knew I was going to get Lance here. Like, why take Lance if I know I can get him in the next round? Then I would have gone like a little bit later there. But I want this like Lance Stafford. You can throw in Carr and Kirk Cousins, honestly, into that range. And so I'd extend into there. But as soon as you get into like Lawrence, Fields, Ryan, Tannehill, Daniel Jones, that's where you're like forcing yourself to kind of need to draft 2 quarterbacks. And if you're in a little bit smaller format, maybe you don't want to do that. But that's my general strategies. I really do want someone in this range. And I'm leaning away from Josh Allen, Mahomes, and Herbert, because it's like if you're in a deep format, if I had missed out on this Akers pick to grab like one of these guys, let's pretend they were still there. Like my running back core is really, really hurting. I don't think the difference between one of these quarterbacks and like a Trey Lance is enough to just take a huge shot at running back. So that's kind of my stake there. Half PPR, Najee versus Jefferson. Oh, Jefferson. Yeah, I don't like the Najee pick here. I think you're going Taylor, McCaffrey, Kupp, Chase, Jefferson. I just think no matter the format, that's kind of what I want to be doing. Those 3 wide receivers are like just gods. Like they're so incredible. Then we can start getting into like your Eckler, Harris, all those guys. But no, I would definitely take Jefferson over Najee. I don't even care what the format is. Maybe in standard because wide receivers are dumb in standard. But how does ideal draft position change in a 12-team league for quarterbacks when they earn completion? Okay. Hold on, let me think about that for a second. So you're saying it's a point per completion league effectively. They get approximately 1.7 to 2.3 times as many points as a standard league based on how pass heavy they are. Ugh. I would have to look at projections for that. So you're going to want to target pocket passers. You're probably not going to want to target Trey Lance. Like you're going to want these like Cousins. Derek Carr would be phenomenal in that format. But your Derek Carrs, your Kirk Cousins, guys who can throw a lot but are going to be relatively accurate. Your Aaron Rodgers of the world, Tom Brady, like those guys are going to elevate a lot. I'll say this, as long as there's no negatives, so like in the Scott Fish Bowl, I don't know what they did this year. In the Scott Fish Bowl, when I played in it, there was also negative for incompletions. And so when you get into the down range here, like your Winstons, your Goffs and stuff, they can really hurt you at times and get you like negative points if they're missing a bunch. If you're not getting negative, it's not as important to go super early. But boy, I mean, what I would do is I would just go to my, because you can download my exact projections, and I would put your scoring format in, and I would see like kind of how much they change and adjust from there. My guess is that quarterbacks kind of bump up like a round to 2 rounds, but it goes back to the same thing for me. You're leaning towards those pocket passers. You're Brady, Aaron Rodgers. Honestly, you might be able to throw Russell Wilson there. He'll probably be pretty accurate this season. Carr, Cousins. But just target that range. Target this sort of range wherever it ends up going. If they go way earlier in your format, just grab them. Just target that range. I think that's got to be my overarching advice for that one. Brady finished the quarterback 1 last year. Yeah. 811 points. Jeez. Yeah, I mean, if not, it's just a weird format. Yeah, I think you got to like look at the projections, make that like a specific sheet you print out, like where people are projected for that. But yeah, I'd still probably target this range and just wherever it ends up going. But yeah, geez, and crap, that's a crazy high amount. How about a couple of free leagues for your fans where the winners get free memberships to the site next year? So the problem is I did a year where I had like 10 subscriber leagues. I can't play in 10 subscriber leagues. Maybe we can do some sort of like, maybe I could like host some leagues where I'm not in them, and we can put together like 5 subscriber leagues or something like that where you guys play against each other. Yeah, and the winners can get like a free all-in next year. Yeah, we could probably do something like that, but I am not going to be involved in like 10 subscriber leagues again. That was a lot. Three wide receiver league. You feel like the teams go for wide receiver early are better than the teams that stick with the early round running backs. And he thought, no, correct. Did I don't remember which video. I think I talked about that on the early round video. I know the mid round video is tomorrow, so I may have touched on that. Yeah. So what value works on is what streaming is. And if you bump down, so streaming would effectively be, in a 12-team league, everyone has to start 2 wide receivers and 1 flex. You assume half the people start a wide receiver in their flex. Then you're at 24 starting plus 30. Your streaming is around that like 31 range, that kind of bucket. Well, if you can now have to start 3 wide receivers, you have to add 12 to that. So now you go down to 36. Now you do 42. So now you're looking at stream 42. And so what you can kind of do is say, okay, that's now what we're looking at for streaming. What's the difference now? Well, it's different, right? Obviously, it's a worse streaming option. So now all wide receivers get bumped up. So yes, if you're looking at a general set of rankings, which I want to make a set of rankings for 3 wide receiver leagues, the problem is if I add that format, that doubles the ranking set. And you guys already know, I mean, there's a billion rankings. So what I might do is release a 12-team version, and you can just assume it's like roughly the same for most formats. Like there are going to be differences, but maybe I can release a standard PPR and like half PPR ranking set for 3 wide receiver leagues, and it'll just assume 12-team league, and you can see how it changes. Because I can very easily make those. All the projections are done. It's just that I don't want to make it for every single one because that doubles the rankings. Now there's a billion rankings on the site. Like it's just going to slow everything down. Going to make the sheet impossible to use. So maybe I'll do that. But yeah, it bumps up all wide receivers. What are your thoughts on tight end after Kelce? Okay, close that. After Kelce and Andrews go in the second roundish, where do you recommend taking Pitts, Waller, Kittle, if at all? Well, definitely no. Definitely at all. So, like I kind of said, Kelce, Andrews, yeah, they should go here. Then I think there needs to be a break until we get into this like late third, and maybe that's when we start taking Pitts. I think I actually, in the latest rankings, Waller is going to move behind Pitts. I think it's like late third for Pitts, early fourth for Waller. Kittle should go more in this kind of range. Then we should see another kind of break as we get into Schultz, as we get into Hawkinson, another kind of break, get into these guys. So I think everything here kind of worked out right. I would just shift Pitts a little bit over to late third. Kittle, I would move behind Waller, put him more in this like late fourth round range. Then there should be a little bit more of a break for like Schultz and Hawkinson. Obviously, again, 14-team league, things are a little bit different. But I hope that kind of answers your question. I just think there needs to be breaks. So don't draft Pitts right after Andrews. Don't draft Schultz right after Waller, Kittle, Pitts. Don't draft Knox, Goddard, Ertz right after this range. There's got to be a break because those guys, you're getting like way worse value than everyone else. Thought of adding a league power ranking tool. So I made that for my hometown league. It basically worked off of, it was like expected points. So let's say you are the second highest scoring team in week 1 and you lose because you played the highest scoring team. On average, you're going to win most of those matchups. And so what are your expected wins? Your expected wins are, I guess, we'll just make it easy, like a 10-team league, it'd be 0.9. You would have beaten like 90%, or I guess it's not perfect, but around 0.9. And it kind of like adds through there. So every single week, if you're just like a bottom, 3 scoring team every week, but you're getting super lucky, in the power rankings, you're still really low. So it's not perfect because technically power rankings should also account for your record. But yeah, I built like a team strength tool where you had to type in, you'd have to manually put in like where people are scoring. I could make that. Yeah. That's not something that needs to be made right now. Remind me closer to the season, even like the beginning of the season. But yeah, I can make a page on the site. All you'd have to do is go in each week. You have to type in where people scored. And it's honestly a good tool to see how well you're doing. Because sometimes we can get like, a little bit optimistic about how good our team is and be like, oh, I should be crushing right now. I'm just getting unlucky. I don't have to change anything. Well, if you put into this tool and you're actually like the 7th best team in a 10-team league, you probably actually do need to change something, and maybe you do need to make a trade. Conversely, if you're like this, you're supposed to be the 2nd best team and you're like, 2nd to last place, over time you're going to improve. Your team is really good. You don't need to make a dumb move to like change things up. You're doing just fine. You're just getting very unlucky. So yeah, I can make that tool. I probably already have it, honestly, in the Google Sheet somewhere. But yeah, I'll make that. I'll post it onto the site. You guys can play around with that. But again, I'm not making that until like early, because you don't need it. Yeah, only half the people in here have liked. Well, we should get that up. Hit the like button. Kelsey's not going to fall to the 3rd round. No. Kelsey's going to go in this 13-15 range. Andrew's going to go shortly after that. There was a basketball question that I skipped over because it wasn't basketball time. There's rumors about DeJounte Murray. Interesting. I would be in love with that. DeJounte Murray is actually one of my favorite players because I love that he just like does everything. Obviously not like an elite 3-point shooter, but I love DeJounte Murray. If there's actually, I haven't seen that rumor. If there is actually a rumor that he's going to Boston, that would be very, very nice. It would be weird because like we took Derek White and we basically would have taken the Spurs like top 2 players. I don't know what we'd have to give up in order to make that happen. We have some sort of, I don't know what the thing is, but we have something that can like help us out. But I don't know if we'd have to give up picks. I don't know if he's due a contract. I don't know anything about if like he's owed a contract soon, so we wouldn't have to give up as much. But like I'm not giving up. Like Tatum, Jaylen Brown are staying on the team. Rob Williams is staying on the team. I would like Marcus Smart to come off the bench. I still like Derek White. I think I want to keep Rob Williams, but like Rob Williams is definitely expendable. So it's like, who are we trading away? So unless is he a free agent? I don't know. Maybe he's a free agent. Oh, that would be really cool to get DeJounte Murray. Hopefully he does come. I think it's important to remember that you got to be smart using the rankings. I'm in a 2-quarterback league. In some years, ADPs go so fast for those guys, and other times people wait. Yeah, that's why, again, in the write-up I'm going to do for Superflex, people always ask what round. It's like, there's no specific round. You just got to pay attention. Like, sometimes you're going to be in the exact same league, the exact same people. And this has happened in my league as well. Quarterbacks go off the board. They're flying off the board. And everyone wants their quarterback. And you're like, okay, this is early. I'm going to check these other guys. Then some leagues, some time in the same exact league, 2 years later, no one takes anyone. I think in that league, I got like Josh Allen like the 6th round last year. I'm just sitting there like, why isn't anyone taking Josh Allen? No one wants quarterback. Everyone's waiting. Take advantage. So yes, different leagues, different years within the same league, things are going to be different. I want to target this range. That's just what I'm going to keep going back to, this mid-range. Smart for Wall. Wall's already going somewhere. I don't remember where he's going somewhere, but I hate John Wall. I hate John. I think he is one of the most overrated players in the entire NBA. I don't even think he's good. Never mind like an elite player. I don't even think he's good at basketball. Like, I don't think John Wall's good at all. Stands in the corner all the time. Like, no, I don't want John Wall at all. I wouldn't give up anything to get him. And I don't want Lowry. We can't have 2. We can't have Lowry and Smart. We're going to get fined like $50 million a game for flopping all the time. Do you consider CMC to be an enhanced injury risk? No. Medical professionals say no, and I trust them. He's coming off injuries. So technically, hamstring. Whenever someone hurts a hamstring, they're always... Yeah, he's going to Clippers. Wall was already going somewhere. Hamstring injuries are always a repeat chance. Even if it's like, oh, he's 100% from the hamstring. That season, nope, they can absolutely hurt again. Even the next year, even the year after that. Hamstrings don't go away. There's always an elevated risk of hurting that. So yes, McCaffrey can suffer hamstring injury. If he does in camp, I'm off him, obviously. But he's good to go right now. But it's barely elevated. All the other injuries I'm not worried about. These were freak injuries. Very unfortunate. He's fine. If he gets hurt, he had just as much of a chance of getting hurt as like Jonathan Taylor. So no, besides the hamstring. But like Eckler's hurt his hamstring before, so just the same risk as Eckler is. Would you trade Tatum for LeBron? No. Not a chance. Not a chance in the world I would trade Tatum for LeBron. You got to think about the future. LeBron doesn't have like that many years left. Tatum has what? 10 to 12 years left? No, of course not. Nice. You used the rankings the last 2 years. You've won at least one a year. Wonderful. We love to see that. Thoughts on Team 10. You're wondering if Pittman would have been sharper than Kittle in round 3 or Burrow in round 5 or quarterback earlier. Would have taken Stafford or Carr, but yeah. Okay. So you're wondering about team 10. Wow. Oh, so team 11. So it's got to be this team. You're wondering if you should have taken Pittman in 3 instead of Kittle. So I think I would have. Yeah. I think I would have taken Pittman there. You grab that wide receiver. I don't think you're thin at wide receiver. DJ Moore, St. Brown, London, Ayuk. I think that's still really solid. Maybe tough only having 4. It's a full PPR league. You're probably starting 3 of them a week. So maybe tough only having 4 of them. But I think I would have rather had Pittman. I think there's a chance you could have gotten Kittle at 4-5, in which case it would have been better to upgrade Pittman. But like, what's the worst case that happens? You don't get Kittle at that spot, and now you have Mixon, Aaron Jones, Pittman, DJ Moore, and St. Brown as your starting lineup. That's a phenomenal starting lineup, and you still could have figured out tight end at a different spot. So yeah, I think I would have taken Pittman. You said something about quarterback as well. Burrow in round 5 or quarterback earlier. So you ended up I liked your Cousins and Trevor Lawrence combination. I liked that. Burrow in round 5, round 5 instead of St. Brown. No, because if you took Burrow in round 5, if you had gotten Pittman, so if you'd gone Pittman, you could have gone Burrow in 5 instead of St. Brown. I think because you went Kittle, if you went Burrow there, now you're really thin at wide receiver in a full PPR league. And that'd be tough. So no, I don't think Burrow, but I think yes to the Kittle one. Thank you for answering the questions. They really help. You're welcome. Did a 3-year best ball Superflex Dynasty. Oh my God. Okay. 3. I don't understand. So this is your team for the next 3 years? What? Best ball Superflex 1.5. So tight end premium startup. You got Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, McCaffrey, Henry, Zeke, Kupp, Tyreek Hill, Hopkins, Boyd, Galladay, MVS, Tim Patrick, Schultz, Ertz. It seems fine. I don't know. I have to see. That's a weird format. So you're in tight end premium. You've got Schultz and Ertz. Yeah, I think that's fine. Although if it's a 3-year thing, is Hurts going to be able to walk in 3 years? I think wide receiver, like I always want a billion wide receivers in that format. Running backs, you went with Zeke, Henry, and CMC, and then you didn't go with another one. Okay, Sharp. Kupp, Tyreek Hill. I think you did good. Yeah. You're a little old, I guess, technically. You got a lot of older players there. If it's a 3-year thing, maybe like in that 3rd year, you're not going to be good. If I'm interpreting this correctly and it's a 3-year thing with the same team. Also, you might have a quarterback. It's super flex, and one of your quarterbacks might retire. Maybe I'm just reading this wrong, but you also need more quarterbacks in. It's only going 3 years. You went all in year 1. Yeah. Okay, it's fine. It is super flex, though, and you only have 2. So that might hurt you a little bit. I probably would have wanted 3. Also, this is a really thin format. Like, if this is best ball, why is it so thin? Like, there should be like 5 or 6 more rounds to this league. Like, you should have done more. But I'm not saying you. Like, the league should have had more players in it. No. 3 years of LeBron, excellent. Like, yeah, I think if you just said, would I rather LeBron or Tatum this year and like next year, sure. But no, you're not guaranteeing at least one title. Absolutely not. There's going to be other teams that can still win it. And I don't want to go all in and then have nothing after that and be bad. I want Tatum for the next 10 to 12 years. I don't want 3 years of maybe a chance with LeBron. No. I don't even think if you replace Tatum with LeBron, I don't even think they win the championship. So, no. Plus, this is LeBron like next year. He's going to start falling off. He's still going to be great, but he's going to start falling off. Would you stash Watson if he gets anything less than a year, hypothetically 4 to 8 games? Yeah, he'd be worth a late round pick. It's gonna be tough because projection wise, it'll be impossible for him to surpass players who are playing every single week. I honestly might just over project that team, just put like 120% of the games played, just so that we can get him. I just think there's pretty much a 0% chance. Is this supposed to happen today? I thought let me open Twitter over here. I thought we were supposed to hear about Watson today. I don't think. I mean, I'll pull up Scheffner. Obviously, he would say something. And nothing's come out. I thought the hearing was today. But nothing's trending on Twitter. Scheffner hasn't said anything. I don't know. But we have to know soon. So we'll see. But yeah, if it's like an 8-game suspension, yeah, he's worth a stash probably. But he'll go in a range. I bet you he goes earlier than I'd like. Again, I think he gets the full year, so we're not taking him. You dare question LeBron's great list? Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is like you only have a few years left of that. I want more years with Tatum. Oh, so you joined a draft that started today and it continues tomorrow. If we don't know, just don't take him. Because again, my leans, he misses the whole year. Yeah, you get 25, 8, and 8, but so will Tatum. Tatum will get that too. Yeah, 1 year suspension from Watson. All right. Yeah, so no, your group chat doesn't know more than Adam Scheffner. But yeah, I think it's pretty much consensus at this point. Like they're pushing for 1 year. They're pushing for indefinite. That's going to last at least 1 year. All right. I think that's going to do it, guys. We're going to be done with this one. Next week is going to be same thing. We'll consider a 16-team league, but maybe we'll just do 12. We'll see. I'll ask you guys. I'll ask you guys to be in the draft if you want to do a 12, if you want to do a 16. But same thing next week. I'll be in Seattle. Then I don't think we can do a stream the week after that because I'll be flying that day. Then we'll go back. Every single Tuesday after that is going to be back on Underdog. So a little bit of break on Underdog, which is unfortunate because there are still really good values. I want to be hammering out Underdog drafts right now. It is killing me to not be able to do that. I feel like I'm just like letting EV just like fly out the door. But you guys are able to, so please sign up for Underdog. There's some really good values right now. There's great resources on the website. Listen to the podcast that we have. Go back on the live streams, watch those. But yeah, download the rankings. I think there's a lot of EV to have on Underdog right now. All right, last question. Diggs or Swift in half PPR, and then we're done. I'll pull up the half PPR rankings. Top of my head is Swift. But it's tough because I'm actually doing the Diggs versus Adams projection out, and I did boost Diggs in the projection since then, and I don't have that uploaded to the site yet. But it's Swift. Swift's going to come out on top there. All right. That'll do it for this one. Hope you all did enjoyed. Hope you guys have a phenomenal rest of your week. Tomorrow, watch it. Mid-round draft strategy. Thursday, we're going to do Adams versus Diggs. That is the end of this one. And thanks for watching the stream.